So today I'm gonna be explaining how I made over $1,000 in a week while still in high school. Now, it's not like I was doing anything crazy. To be honest, I was actually using a method that most people had already used. But the thing is, I took it and then I basically made it better. So, I know most of y'all had already heard of like selling candy at your school or selling candy around the area if you were like looking at ways to make money or hustles to make extra money on top of your job. And the thing is, it works. The way I did it was on a bigger scale. I started off with a small supply of candy to see how it would sell on the first week. And the thing is, I didn't do this by myself. There's no way I'm making $1,000 selling candy at school by myself. So I had decided to ask my other friends if they wanted to come sell with me, and then they would get like a pay cut, like they would get a cut of the money that I made. And they agreed. So first week, I think I spent about $100 or a little bit over $100. And then I advertised it since I had people that I knew that were pretty known at school and could like socialize pretty well. So I made sure it was advertised. I spent about $100 on my first supply, like the first supply I bought, and it was just like popular candies, nothing crazy like honey buns and Skittles and other stuff, little stuff. So boom, I bought that, spent $100, advertised it, got my friends to help me, and that first week we came back and we made a good amount of money. We made about a little over 200, maybe 300 in total. So it was definitely like a big gain. Now with this candy selling business, like, there's always the choice to find out who you want to buy your supply from. And it's always good to do research from like stores around your area and the prices that they offer. But me, I personally chose Sam's Club because it was literally the cheapest place around. So I had bought a membership at Sam's Club, and then I had started buying my supply in bulk from there. And then once I had seen that, it was actually pretty successful the first week, I started spending more and more money by the weeks to like see how much I could make and spend and, all that stuff. So boom, we kept advertising, and within a few weeks, we had a lot of people that like to buy, like a lot of customers, which was great. And the thing is, I decided to hire more people to get further. Since, obviously I didn't know everybody in every grade, but I knew some people that did. So I hired people, and, I had my own little charts. So boom, like the way I work with it was out of all the money that is made, you get 25% of what you sell. So, basically, I would give them a certain like amount of candy. Like, let's say I give them a bag that was worth about $30, $40. Like, I told them, boom, I give them the bag full of candy. I told them, this item is worth this amount. This item is worth this amount. Come back to me with the $30 that it's worth. And I basically did that every day, and I totaled up how much money everybody made. And at the end, if you made, let's say you made $100 by the week, at the end of the week, then you would get $25. So really how much they were paid was based on how much they sold, which I thought was a really good method, and it definitely did work out for me. So there was that. So then boom, I had started selling, and it was a lot of trial and error to figure out what works and what doesn't work, because there were some times where I made some dumb decisions buying certain stuff and it has lost me money. But at the same time, I learned, not to buy it and what to buy and all that stuff. And, obviously, most people just think, oh, let me sell candy, or, oh, let me just sell candy with me and my friends. But I wanted to make it bigger. So basically, I was the management. And then I had about 5, 6 people that had sold for me. I had 5 people that were known, and I gave them certain amounts of a bag with certain amounts of candy in it that were worth certain amounts of money. So boom, I got them to sell that, and they came back to me at the end of the day. I tallied everything up, and I kept track of everything, because if you don't keep track of the stock and everything, they might just take some candy, might just eat some candy, might give it away, so you always got to make sure. And that's what I did. So boom, tallied everything up, and I made sure the people that sold the most got paid the most, because obviously that's how it worked. So boom, I had decided to write everything down, like literally everything down in my notes. And I also made sure to keep track of everything. After about a month or so, I would like to say that like I had the hang of it, you know. So I started going bigger, and I started spending about, I think it was $300 a week for stock. Yeah. So boom, I had spent $300 a week for stock, and then I knew the outcome would give me about 1,000, 1,000 what, $1,100, about $1,100. Obviously, all 1,100 wouldn't go from to me, but it was still a lot. Cause boom, $300 spent, and then I made 1,100. You subtract the 300 that you had spent, and then boom, I have like 800. 800. Now I gotta give my employees 25% of that 800. So I take the what, for the 200? Yeah, I take the 200 and then I split it between the people that had sold, depending on how much they sold. Like I said, everyone gets about 25% of what they sold. So boom, 800, that 1,100 minus 300, which gives me 800. And then that 800 minus 25%, which had gave me 600. I make 600 a week from like barely doing anything. No, I personally like that method, and I'm planning on continuing to do it and like bettering it. But the thing is, it makes me a lot of money. It made me a lot of money. And the thing is, it made me more money than like a normal job, like a normal 9 to 5. Like I had recently gotten a job, and I realized it was much easier, much quicker, and much more money. It's a good side hustle. I mean, if you do it right, it's just about trial and error, starting small and then going big. Sometimes you gotta take some risks, but realistically, there's a lot of benefit to it. And I felt like a little business owner. You feel me? So I made quite a decent amount of money just getting people to sell candy, and me basically just managing everything. And it worked. It definitely worked. Now, obviously, it's not all good, because it was known that I was like selling and that I had people selling for me. So there were other people in the school that tried doing the same thing because they knew it was good money. But the thing is, they didn't really do it right. So boom, they ended up buying from the wrong stores and then overpricing their supply, like how much they sold stuff for, or they weren't like good in the way that they sold things, and they got in trouble by the school and the administration and everything, which also caused me a problem, because then it also got the people that sold for me in trouble. So, if you're too out there when you're selling, like other people are obviously going to try to, hop on and do the same thing. And it might just cause everything you built up to like collapse. Now, obviously, I'm not saying like selling candy is like an original idea, but it's definitely something you could take and then make better, which is what I did. And I made 1,000 a month. I mean, 1,000 a week. That's 4,000 a month, and I barely did anything. So, I feel like that's definitely a very good side hustle to do, and it's definitely a side hustle that I'm gonna continue to do while I'm still in school. It's a lot of money. But yeah, quick recap. So basically, I just went to Sam's Club since it was the cheapest, and then I bought a bunch of candy, like about $100 worth of candy. And then I bought like, my main selling thing was honey buns, and I bought like the 12 packs that were like $6. And then I sold each honey bun for $1. So I made $12 while I spent $6. That's, I doubled it basically. And then I basically did the same thing for all the candies and drinks. And the biggest tip I gotta give is to start small, because if you over here like and you spend $500 and you like don't manage to sell all the candy, or something isn't working out, and then you just end up like wasting your money, it's not good. So start small, see what works and what doesn't, before you start spending more money and then advertising more and doing all that extra stuff. And make sure you keep track of everything. If you're managing a lot of candy, people might steal, you might lose some, all that. So yeah, make sure you keep track of stuff, because you might think you're making money, but then boom, all of a sudden you have less money than you started with, which is never something you would want. And, be careful how you sell. You could obviously get in trouble depending on, where you sell at and all that stuff. But, it's good money. And if you try, I believe that, like, really anybody can make money off of it, like I did.